Yeah, hi everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming out. I am continuing to mess with the tech here because somebody pointed out to me last time that the camera was kept focusing on somebody besides me. So there's some person whose permission I didn't have is there for most of the thing. So much as I don't like to have something sort of blocking between us here, that way I'm not videoing anybody without their permission. Anyway, hello, and yeah, here we go. All right, we're online. So we're gonna get started here. As always, often we get here, we've been rushing around, we've been doing other stuff all day. So take the time to get yourself comfortable and settled. And particularly to allow yourself the opportunity to adjust the way you're sitting in your chair in a way that feels comfortable for you today, because our bodies are not the same from week to week. The way we're feeling, our energy is not the same, so a posture that felt great a week ago may not be really appropriate for today. And again, I will repeat something that I've said a bunch of times, which is in the midst of a busy life and a busy week, let this time be a gift to yourself. And when you feel like you're ready, if you're comfortable letting your eyes just gently close, you can do that. We draw again upon very familiar words as we move into this time of sitting together. Words from what in Hebrew is called Sefer Tehillim, the book of Psalms. And the words are Hinei matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov, look, behold, how good, umanayim, and how pleasing or pleasant, shevet achim gam yachad, how good and how pleasant it is when we can be yachad, when we can be together. The Hebrew uses the male language achim, when we can be together like, we can say, a loving family. And this can be an opportunity to experience a very special and in some ways a rather rare form of yachad or yichud, of togetherness, of unity. Because it's something that we can experience without even having to speak to each other. It's a togetherness that comes from our awareness of simply being in community. Our awareness of the support and the strength that we can derive just from the knowledge that we are not alone. There are people with us, those of us who are here at the temple, people who are with us in this room. And there are people who are online now with us. And there are, it's lovely to know, many people who have been joining us later on. The video last week has had over 50 views since it was posted. So even without knowing who those other people are, you can welcome that reality into your awareness that there are really a lot of people who, like you, have chosen to set aside this time to just be peaceful and still. And in this way, to come into some alignment and some preparation with Rosh Hashanah, which is coming up now in less than a week. Many things in life, some of the things in life that are most important to us and most important in and of themselves are things and experiences and pursuits that require preparation, that are more complete and more impactful with preparation. And so you can honor the effort and the kavanah, the intention that you have fulfilled through that effort of being here. In preparation for the experience of coming together next week, of being part of what is typically the largest congregation of the whole Jewish year. So many people sitting with us and singing together and speaking words of prayer together, because the experience of that kind of spiritual community and kinship is so rare in this world, and it draws people again and again, year after year, to just be part of that. I was teaching last night online in the Introduction to Judaism class about the practice of what's called in Hebrew the vidui, funny word, vidui, which means the confessional, where we as a community stand together and we sing and call and response with Greg this alphabetical list of misdeeds and broken promises and not living up to the best that is in us. And it's alphabetical: Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu, Dibarnu Dofi, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalud. And that as much as someone unfamiliar with the practice might see that as being gloomy or just self-critical, I think that our tradition is very wise when it has us do this together in unison as a community. I said at the Slichot service, I think of those moments and those words where every word ends with the suffix nu, ashamnu, bagadnu, gazalnu, dibarnu dofi, that suffix nu in Hebrew means we, us, our. What does it teach us? What can it open up for us? One possibility is that all change, all positive growth, all maturity, all increase in wisdom, all teshuvah, all returning to what we know to be best for us and those around us. All positive change begins from a place of acceptance. We have to be able, in a way that we are honest with ourselves, of simply knowing this is where I am right now. As the Hebrew word goes, hineni, here I am. And once we have that acceptance, this is where I am right now. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to hide. At that point, we can begin to move forward. So ironically, perhaps, in that recitation of that vidui, that confessional, that short one, Ashanu, Bagadnu, and so forth, there is an undercurrent of acceptance and relief. Because as we recite those words together, we know that we are not alone. We know that we all fall short in some way. And I think we normalize that. We say as a community, we don't have to run from this. We don't have to judge ourselves harshly. We certainly don't judge others harshly. As I said on Saturday night, it's like that vidui, that confessional, Ashanu Bagadnu, is a gigantic relief. It is a giant communal sigh of relief, an exhaling. Okay, it's okay, this is where we are. But we love each other, and we're going to support each other in the work, the unique work that each of us has to do. And we will cheer each other on. And when we know we grant to others the right to change and to be better, we can have that for ourselves as well. But right now, in this moment, hineni, here I am. This is my starting point. And that is why this season exists for us in our tradition as Jews. So let me invite you to let your attention shift gently toward the experience of inhaling and exhaling. Following the breath as it enters the cool air in the room, feeling that sensation coming through your nose or your mouth, over the back of the throat, and into your lungs, and let the filling of your lungs be generous and full. Drink in Nishmat Chayim, that breath of life that the Torah tells us God blew into the nostrils of Adam, the first person. That breath that we all share, that breath that ties us together as living beings. And then let the breath go. So we'll just sit with this sensation, this experience of breathing. taking an interest in, following each breath, and when you notice that your mind has wandered without any criticism, just gently come back to how it feels to be breathing in this moment. So we're going to sing together, as we've been doing. And in keeping with some of what we've been considering during this time of sitting, we're going to sing a little nigun, a little melody that only has one word. And the word is hineni, which means here I am. In this moment. So, I'm not sure actually if we've sung this before. It's not hard to pick up. There's only that one word. We'll sing it through a few times. It sounds like this. Hineni, 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 hineni. Hineni, So there is no rush at all to open your eyes if they've been closed. Do take your time. So, first thing I wanted to do is to express some, as we say in Hebrew, hoda'ah, some gratitude to all of you who are here for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And gratitude also to the people who may be watching this at home, to thank them as well. This has been a beautiful and uplifting experience for me. I hope it has been for some of the people who have been participating. And just to respond to a question that a couple people have raised, I would hope to schedule some more of these, at least this year, leading up to some holidays. So I was thinking maybe in the month before Hanukkah, in the later in the fall, we can do this again. Love to do that. I wanted to just share with you, it's not a High Holy Day reference per se, but it is in the sense that it is a snippet, a piece of a prayer that we say pretty much at any morning service. There is a prayer, a lot of nice melodies have been written to it, called Ma Tovu. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Greg and the choir are doing a version of Ma Tovu on Rosh Hashanah. Ma Tovu is actually an anthology, a collection of verses from all over the Tanakh, all over the Hebrew Bible. There's, Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov. There's the one that Jeff Klepper and Dan Freelander wrote, Ma Tovu Ohalecha Yaakov, which was sort of jokingly referred to in the cantorial school at HUC in New York as the Star Wars Ma Tovu, because it sounds a little bit like da 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 da, da, right? But that Ma Tovu. So the line Ma Tovu, which means how good are your tents, Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, actually is a line from the Torah. It comes from a story in a line in a Torah portion called Balak that usually we get to over the summertime. Without going into the whole story, there is this sorcerer, as it were, who has been hired by a king to curse the Israelites, and all he can do whenever he sees the Israelite camp is to bless them. And the last time he tries to curse them, it ends up blessing them. He says, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, as he looks out, right? How good are your tents, Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. That's sort of the chorus, and then the rest of it is a set of verses from other parts of the Bible. By the way, just also a little thing to carry in your back pocket. If you've ever been to a more traditional congregation, or there may even be people here who do it, because I know this congregation's history is sort of, bringing in kind of a big tent of people with various traditions. Some people have the tradition that when they say the blessing for putting on their talit, they actually put the talit up over their heads, if you've ever seen this, and they say the blessing. So there's one interpretation that says, the reason we say Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, how good are your tents, Jacob, that is actually somebody standing on the bima looking out and seeing all the people with their talit over their heads, and those are the tents. It's funny, but it's also very sweet, right? It's like there's everybody kind of doing their thing. But the line that I just wanted to share with you is in the last stanza when we sing it. We say, Va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. If we're singing the Jeff Klepper, Va'ani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon. So the way it's usually translated, and probably the plain sense of it, is Va'ani, ani means I, Tefillati means my prayer. Lacha means to you, addressing God. Adonai. Eit ratzon. Eit ratzon means like at a desirable time or a good time. So the way it's usually understood, the plain sense is, Adonai, may my prayer come to you, may my tefillah come to you at a good time. May this be a good time to pray. May my prayers be received. However, because Hebrew, especially biblical Hebrew, has a certain amount of vagueness to it often, and because Hebrew in the present tense has no word meaning to be. It has was, it has will be, but the idea of now, right, present tense is just the is understood, right? If you translate directly into English, it sounds like you're Tarzan, right? Because there's no like verb to be, right? Ani Rabbi Folberg, I Rabbi Folberg, right? So because of that, there's a lovely midrash, a lovely little spin that translates Va'ani tefillati lacha Adonai et ratzon, not as for me, God, may my tefillah come to you at the right time, but rather it reads it as Va'ani and I tefillati lacha, right? I am my prayer to you, Adonai. So what's my prayer? My prayer is my whole life. My whole life is a prayer. The way I speak, the experiences that I have, where I am in my life at that moment, whatever it is. And I once was part of a conversation on the artist formerly known as Twitter, which is not what it used to be. If you were ever on Twitter, it's become kind of rough neighborhood. But there was an Orthodox, there was at one time a lot of great Jewish content on Twitter, and there were a bunch of people that I followed, and somebody once, a woman who had these great things that she posted, once posted something saying, going through a rough time, can anybody offer chizuk? So chizuk, right, comes from the word chazak, right, to be strong. Chizuk means like an encouraging word. Chizuk is like encouragement in this context. And what I did was to share this, and I am my prayer to you. I love that thought because to me, like we were saying earlier, there's a great deal of acceptance in that thought. Right now, in this moment, my prayer is my life, wherever I am. And that may include struggle. It may include depression. It may include frustration. To say that I am my prayer means before God, whatever it is okay, right? And I'll use traditional language here. If anybody knows what's going on with me, it should be God. And therefore, that's my prayer. So I love that, and I wanted to share it, and I hope, my hope, my prayer is that the high holidays this year are just whatever you need them to be in your life, that you get what you need, or at least a measure of what you need. Okay, so we're going to do our closing thing. We're going to make a circle. I'm going to come around this side over here so I'm not on the other side of the table. With gratitude for this time that we have spent together, gratitude for each other's presence and for being part of a beautiful community, we offer these words of blessing found in Torah. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, may God shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may the Holy One be with you and help you to find shalom, wholeness, and peace in a world of justice, equality, healing, safety, and peace for all who dwell on earth. Together we say, Amen. So I'll say good Yom Tov in advance. Happy holiday, yes, Shana Tova. And we'll see you in services a lot. Yes. many services. Oh, it's my pleasure. All right. People at home, bye-bye. Thanks for being here. All right.